I'm Trinity Dalton, and I'm so excited that we get to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm Rianne. I'm one of the editors-in-chief for this issue of Occam's Razor.
And I'm Katie Chandler, also an editor-in-chief for this issue. To our team. Our team was really small, but it worked really hard. Everyone was super dedicated. We could not have done it without you guys. And thank you to everyone who submitted their pieces to Occam's Razor.
I'm Sarah, I'm the new girl. I really realized you're not really a writer unless you're writing in a community with other people. There is no books without community, period.
And the first person reading is Archie Arboleda.
For me, I only seem to catch her every other word, making only the faintest ideas of what she really means, guessing the rest of the details as we go. And usually that's no way to try and understand someone. Understanding every other word is still missing half of her sentence. And I don't want that anymore. I want to understand everything she has to say. Maybe this is why she finds speaking English so scary. I can't blame her. I'm the same kind of scared when I speak Tagalog. Maybe that's another factor we share for each other. Maybe we're scared of even truly understanding one another. For her, she can't understand the tense I'm speaking with, whether something is happening now or in the future, but by the time she really sits down and thinks about it, it's already happened. This is why she's so forgetful, mistakes things, forgets things I said in the past, and will never remember important dates like graduations, birthdays, or even her own doctor appointments. It kind of just became our status quo within a relationship. Never fully understanding each other is our relationship. Guessing and making mistakes over and over again is the relationship. It's something I'm always going to be jealous of. To have a full, in-depth conversation with my mother in our motherland's tongue is something that only lives in my imagination. And in my imagination, I don't even know what we'd say to each other. Only that we could understand.
Next reader is Rianne Romano.
There was a diner in the alley on the corner of 21st and 5th. One of those retro 50s style places that's been passed around endless hands and renovated countless times while still staying the exact same. It's called A Hole in the Wall. I didn't choose the name. That was the diner's name when it fell into my hands. I'm not clever enough to come up with something new, nor do I even have the funds to get a new sign made, so A Hole in the Wall remained. Besides, it's kind of fitting. It is a hole in the wall. Tucked out of the way between bigger, nicer establishments, found only by taking a narrow path dirtied by trash and rainwater from the gutters. A 2-story building made of faded concrete, with the diner on the ground and my little loft above it. The lights illuminating the diner's name are on their last legs, some of them flickering, most of them dead. In the dead of night, all you can see from a few paces back is the neon open sign struggles to stay lit so often it may as well not be lit at all. It's a simple place, a little cramped. There are only 2 booths on either side of the diner and 3 seats at the counter. The furniture doesn't even match. But what matters is that the inside is well lit, the heater and air conditioning work, and there's food to be had. The diner's open from midnight to 10 a.m. Odd hours for a diner to keep, but I've always been a night owl, and I prefer it this way. Being around too many people makes me nervous. Besides, it's not like I don't get customers. The bell by the door jingles at 12:05 a.m. on the dot. A figure dressed head to toe in black enters, his heavy boots clicking on the checkered linoleum floor. The collar of his bomber jacket is pulled up almost to his nose to combat the chill that nips at his heels. His dark hair is cut short on the sides, but a little long at the top, showing off the red tint to his ears. The side of the mask covering the lower half of his face, the large utility belt with weapons holstered on it, as well as the knives very visibly strapped to his thighs, don't faze me one bit. To the public, his name is Shadow, a name whispered with fear. A specter that looms over the filth of society, his words not mine. The worst of the worst, before striking, his targets vanishing like they were never there to begin with. But I like to call him 1 cream 5 sugars. That's what he puts in his coffee every time he comes in. And he comes in every night, save for Tuesdays, and I've known him for so long that I have his drink ready and waiting for him by the time he takes a seat at the counter. He lifts his mouth thanks before lowering his mask to take a sip. Even though he's not as careful about hiding his face anymore, I take care not to look too closely. My customers are very private people, and my respect for that privacy overrides my curiosity, no matter how much it burns. I wander back into the kitchen to prepare more orders for incoming customers. As the sizzle and scent of food on the stove fills the air, my mind begins to wander.
Next up is Sergio Duenas.
Go.
Is a winner of the Poetry Prize. Please welcome Sergio up to the mic.
1,000 scattered, white petals, smears of pigment, red roses unfinished, counting, petal by boring petal, until every seam and fiber of me pull apart, lie like bruises upon my heart, wilting, blemishing, left only to wonder, will the flowers still grow without you?
Okay, next up is Young Ju Sharp.
My love, you are leaving me. Your feet will be sore before you go 10 li. I've always wondered if I would be able to do what my parents did, marry a stranger. I've heard this story only a couple times, but it's the kind of story that's hard to forget. Before their marriage, my mother and father both individually sent their photos to a Korean matchmaker, the leader of the religious movement they had both recently joined, who looked through thousands of other photos and, based on studying their features, their ancestral merit, could discern that my parents would be a good match. My father's photo was sent to my mother in Japan, and my mother's photo was sent to my father in America, along with the date of the wedding. When they both flew to Korea, it was there that they would meet for the first time, and 5 years later, I, daughter number 1, was born. I walk alone outside sometimes when it gets dark, to calm my mind and let the moon wash away my day stress. I listened to Ariran again during one of those evening walks, and was reminded that there's just an undeniable sadness to the song. As I researched the history of the song for this paper, I found out that no one actually knows what the word Ariran really means, and the closest guess is something along the lines of, beautiful beloved one. I think those words are fitting because I've always felt that this song evokes in me the sensation of missing something, a longing for something more in my life that I can't quite explain or define. It's like this song awakens me in a hunger to be more, feel more, experience more. I want to know what it is to love like the song suggests, unreservedly with my whole being. I want to be in love with life, with what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, and where I'm going. I want to love life like I'll miss it when I go, or that I'll be missed. Just as there are many stars in the clear sky, there are also many dreams in our heart. Thank you.
Let's celebrate the winners, who are Selena Winstead, who's up next. And then we have Saja Kotnick, and we have Young Ju Sharp, who just read, and Christian Star.
A house is a home. A house is a home, even when the upstairs bedroom smells like cigarette smoke. A house is a home, even when the family photos are there to hide the gaping holes in the walls. A house is a home, even when the freezer only holds the Jameson that slurs says, "Love you," before bed. But sometimes it doesn't slur. Sometimes it makes the house tremble in fear. The popcorn ceiling showers the carpet with plaster. Now the drawers don't shut and the cabinets hang loose. I'm thankful for all the doors in the house, because they read his destruction instead of us. But my house is still a home. Even when daughters don't know how to speak when the air grows thick. My older sister knows how to cut it with a knife, though. He doesn't like that, but it helps me and my twin sister breathe. The enraged man only lives downstairs, but my house is still a home. Because upstairs, sisters don't share tears. We trade secrets and share laughs. When we hear the staircase creak and smell the burning of tobacco, we know he's gone to bed. My house is a home when my sisters and I sneak downstairs at night to play home, to make the scary place feel free, to take a deep breath. I tell the four walls I love them and thank the doors for protecting me. 3 sisters sit knee to knee and whisper, us against the world.
My house is a home. Thank you.
The naked eye historically grounded faith upon the thicker blood. There are three absurdities in that statement. 1, the naked eye. There is no such thing as a naked eye. The cornea functions as a protective layer. It's the conviction of an imagined entity, the partial DNA of a giver and a carrier. 2, faith. Irises. Faith is a multifaceted adage. It's irises, hope, and character. 3, thicker blood. If we are all born thick-blooded, it's the perceivable aspect, the Holy Quran, the wailing child. The thicker blood upon which faith was historically grounded was a naked eye. There is no absurdity in that statement.
We have Chucklin Min.
Never missing, never yielding. Your words shoot at my heart like an Olympian aims at a bullseye. Yet when I aim at you, I miss. All of your arrows will hit me square at the center, knowing that you feel the same. It's hard to know. You will never hit me. You have someone else. I know this. But I can't help but draw my bowstring, knowing all I'll shoot is the horizon.
And we move on excitedly to Diego Torres.
I'm going to read this piece, Where to Run. Bright went on a walk early that morning before Charles got up. The smell of wet rain hit her instantly. She immediately grabbed her gas mask because it meant some acid was left behind, and she was right. The occasional tiny pockmarks littered the sidewalks, including some old buildings that weren't up to standard. Rhino, accompanying Al and Ross, had been mining for metals for a long time, and this is what happened. All around her, people carried masks, corpos, children, and regular adults. Some had the privilege of not wearing a mask, meaning they had implants in their nose to block the smell. Lucky them. There was one dead homeless person at the end of the street. Her eyes were rolled back with dried blood coming out of them. No one cared, though. Everyone went along with their business. News reporters would stop by, showcasing the dangers of not wearing your mask. No one would ever listen, because Rhino wouldn't help the public. Bride stopped by a flea market to pick up some grapes and headed toward the cemetery. She entered and walked past broken pieces of cement, fragments of letters still visible. She walked past an undertaker and a couple, maybe around their late 30s, pleading with the undertaker. Please, mister, if you could just make an exception and wait for our check, we could pay for my grandmother's grave. We just need a little bit more time. Sorry, ma'am. I'm afraid that we can't do that. Bride kept her head down and walked past her when the woman began screaming and crying. She got to her mom's grave and sat in the wet grass. It was the first time she'd been there since moving in with Charles. The smell didn't reach this part of the city, so she took off her gas mask and was able to breathe in some fresh air. She looked at the grass for a while, though, and didn't dare to look at her mom's name. Hey, Mom, Bright finally said. She waited a couple of seconds before responding, letting the wind pass by. Olive called yesterday, wanted me in this new crew she got. Bright started picking off the grass one by one, wanting to do something with her hands. Don't know if I'm ready to get back in the game. I know you wouldn't want me to anyway, but still. There was a pause, and she continued. When you said you wanted me to work at Prometheus, bet you didn't expect me to rob them, eh? Funny, ain't it? You wanted me to be rich, famous, stay on top of the world, and make a difference. Instead, I chose to go underground, get myself into trouble with the law, morally, and even with you guys. Bright stopped playing with the grass. Can't find Luck, Edge, or Dad. Keep trying to see if they're in Loyton or Wolf or in any state, but I got nothing. Bright tried looking at the headstone, but immediately looked back down. I'm sorry for not visiting you. I'm sorry for not making that dream come true. I always saw the letters you sent Charles, but couldn't bring myself to open them. Didn't want you to get in trouble too. She wanted to say something else, but stopped herself. She couldn't say it. She got up, left the grapes on her grave, and left, without even saying goodbye. Again.
Do you have Katie Chandler?
This cage was carefully crafted just for her. It's her permanent place now. It's not locked or even closed, but I can't get her legs back on. When I smell chlorine, I'm looking through her eyes again. I own a lot of candles. We are nowhere.
2 newly announced IRES scholars. The Virginia IRES Scholarship is for future teachers. Our 2 winners are right here, Megan Andrade and Christina Nava Villalbazo. Villalbazo. With the L? Yeah. Awesome. Love that.